Limestone, Applejack, A True Love by Switched Out. Like a normal day at the rock farm, Limestone has been working very hard ever since early this morning. But lately she has been taking care of the farm alone with her parents since Marble is on her way on her honeymoon with Brayburn and that Maud Pie has moved to Ponyville and living with her boyfriend now. And Pinky, she is also a little bit busy at the moment. She has actually taken care of Sugarbell, Cute Corner, and at school. Limestone has been feeling a little bit more frustrated that her sisters has founding a special stone pony except on Pinky. But she hasn't. Every time she tries to find a stallion, they often try to. They're not always the second time we're meeting is saying that they have some other things to do, and it never hears from again. And they ask why. Some of the stallions has been asked from Pinky why this other day doesn't talk back to Limestone. Apparently they're feeling terrified about irritating about her personality. She seems always look angry or mad. So and they are like very intimidated about her appearance or her at least her personality, so they feel scared about from her. Pinky, she was very feeling with horror about this, especially now when her sister has been trying to find her special stone pony, but hasn't been the same luck. Pinky, she had tried to put up some blind dates for her sister for the past few weeks, but the same thing happens there. All the stallions think that she looks too terrifying, and she can't handle that anymore. So she told Pinky she doesn't want to have any more dates to do, even as she made Pinky to do a Pinky promise not to interfere with her life anymore at the same way. Pinky felt deeply down that she wanted to help her sister, but since she made a Pinky promise, she couldn't help. So only that a past few months after that event, Pinky still felt guilty not being able to find her sister a special stone pony, and especially now when Heartworm Eve was closing in, and the rest of the family was going to be invited. So Pinky had been asking Applejack if it was possible if they could celebrate it at the farm or at the rock farm. Applejack and Pinky talked about this first and most about with their families separately and asked what their location could be best for this year, either the rock farm or Sweet Apple Acres. And since Sweet Apple Acres could be better, since Brayburn was also going to be part of this year, so they all agreed Sweet Apple Acres. And during for the celebrations, for preparations for this holiday, all the friends and family started to gather around at the farm, and even though Big Mac was also had invited his new wife, Sugarbell, and their two daughters. But Applejack can also notice how much Limestone felt almost an outcast, especially all the family members had their special stone pony. Applebloom had her special stone pony, was Rumble, and that was made her feeling it were an outcast. But the only of those ponies that she could actually relate to was Applejack and Pinky. They haven't found their special stone pony yet. But during the holiday, after they have been sharing out their gifts, and before they shared their gifts, Limestone left the barn without saying a word. The others didn't even notice that Limestone had just left the house, but left the barn, except Applejack. She saw that Limestone walked away out from the house and of the barn, just standing outside in the snow. Applejack put out her scarf and a hat and walked outside and to talk to Limestone what was wrong. Limestone, she wasn't the type to that, expressing her feelings so much as her sisters do. But she said to Big Applejack that she felt like an outcast, and Applejack asked why she felt like that. Mostly because that all her family has their special song, except for her and Pinky. Applejack could actually relate to that, and she also felt a bit lonely since her brother got married and had his own family, and that even that most of her family had some. Especially now when Marble has been married with Braver, and they will soon maybe have their own family within a few years or so. That even made Limestone even more furious. She said to Applejack she would never find a special stone pony. She would live alone on the farm for the rest of her life. But that made Applejack to realize something. She had the same feeling. She even expressed that to Limestone, saying that she had been also feeling the same thing. Since her older brother has stone pony and her younger sister has a special stone pony, and she feels, will she ever find her special stone pony or not? She then just said that if I don't find some special stone pony, maybe I should start debut Limestone. And Limestone didn't actually react at first. She was actually looking at the sky without even hearing first, but then she heard it a second time after she explained what she'd say, and she said it again. Limestone started blushing and thought that she was joking. But the Applejack nodded and shook her head and said it was not a joke. She actually meant it. So Applejack then asked if Limestone would be able, maybe thought about maybe go out with her, and she said that she needed some time to think about it. So they both went inside and celebrated the holiday. The next day, the family spent some time mostly inside the house, sitting next to the open fire, drinking some hot cocoa, and some other just tons of stories and so. Except from Applejack. She was mostly taking care of the animals, like she usually do. Even a Big Mac and her grandsmith has told her, don't work on the holidays. But she said that she has a reason to feed the animals at least. And they agreed. So after she had taken care of the animals, she didn't enter back the house. She actually remained on the farm outside. Even Limestone was feeling a bit almost like bored. So she decided to take a walk in the snow just to calm her down or clear her head what she needed. And she ran into Applejack outside. She was about to go inside when she ran into Limestone, and then Limestone asked if she wanted to take a walk with her, and Applejack said yes. Applejack and Limestone, they actually left the farm and went all the way to town and just talked, seeing most of the other opponents are at home, celebrating the holiday with their friends and families, except for them. They were actually feeling the same thing. And they went to the park, sit down there, and they didn't speak much. They didn't even speak much on all the way to all the town. They just walked close to each other, silent. But the most of the other Applejack felt was warm. When she was so close to Limestone, she actually felt warm. She felt her heart was beating a bit faster, and she had then realized maybe should they Limestone and give it a try. And Limestone had actually said yes when she asked that. But they decided not to tell their families yet about it, because they don't even know if this would be any long-term relationship or just one time happen. So for the next couple of months after Heartwarming Eve, Applejack and Limestone wrote each other letters back and forward and even visited each other as often as they could. But since Applejack was a teacher at the school, she had her very hard schedule to take care of. Even Limestone had her work at the farm, but they managed to take time to meet, especially during summer vacation. At that time when most other families were out of town, and Applejack remained at the farm with her grandmother. Applejack and Limestone has been actually feeling happy when they been approached each other, revealed that they felt lonely. At first on their dates, they didn't speak much either. They didn't do much except having picnics or went to the to the lake. But one time actually, Applejack had invited Limestone for a cruise on the ocean. Limestone was actually never been to the ocean, never seen the ocean before, so she was a bit excited, but at the same time didn't show excited. This was going to be their 1 year's anniversary because they took a cruise during the winter, mostly because the other families were quite busy at the time, and they had already. This was actually by now their families know about their relationship, and they were supportive. Applejack and Limestone had a great time on the cruise, and mostly because since Limestone has never been on the ocean or been on a cruise before, she was a little bit curious of what to do on a cruise, but Applejack has been on one before, so she explained what were the kind of things to do, and they had just a great time. There were a great fun of things to do, games to do, great food to eat, and just a lot of things to do. And Applejack and Limestone didn't have any bored moment a single day on the cruise. Limestone now for a long time has been feeling happy. Even that she still seems to be angry appearance, but deep down she's very happy. Applejack had tried many times to make her smile, but to no avail. She seems to be almost like no impossible to make her smile. But Applejack is still trying to make her happy smile. But then some bad things happened. Limestone's father ended up ill during only a few weeks after their cruise. And she said that Applejack that she didn't want to see her anymore because she will take care of her father. Meanwhile, when he was sick, because her mother was mostly had to take care of the farm and look after the father at the same time, and she was tired. And Applejack said that she could help her. She could spend some time with her and help her family, and even take care of her parents when she take care of the farm. But Limestone said no. She wanted to take care of her family by herself. She can help her. But Applejack tried to convince her that two were better than one, especially now her father is very sick, and needs help from her. And they have had an argument, but Limestone had to realize Applejack was right. Because in the past, there was either Limestone with Marble or Maud Pie who helped to take care of the family when her parents were sick and to take care of the farm. So, and since Marble was now married and lived in Appaloosa with her husband, and that Maud lived now in Ponyville with her boyfriend and soon husband. And Pinky, She was also only one of her sisters that can actually came to help her. But she has been busy and mostly in the sugar corner to take care of that. So Applejack was actually happy to at least be there to help Limestone and her parents. Meanwhile, when Limestone took care of the rock farm, Applejack took care of their family. Her parents, like, make sure that they had very warm in bed, that they had good food to eat, and she even tried to give them some apple pies to cheer them up a little bit better, which they both actually accepted. They appreciated how much help Applejack could help Limestone. But then something did happen. During the winter, just only about a week after they arrived at the farm, Limestone was hurt. A rock fell over one of her hoofs and broke her leg. She couldn't do any work, so she had to stay in bed even then. So Applejack took care of her and her parents. Even Limestone tried to leave the bed so she can try to help Applejack or even try to walk outside to do some work. But Applejack always called her before even trying to sneak out of bed and saying, "You don't try ever and you will hurt you even more. You will break your leg and your hoof. That is considered condition." And Limestone tried to convince even Applejack to let her do some work, but she had been working in a much worse case before. But Applejack said no, and she agrees with it. But then, only a few months later, Applejack had actually been asking her parents for permission to marry Limestone, which they both accepted. When she asked Limestone to marry her, it was actually the first time to see her smile with a big, happy smile. And the wedding was actually held at the Sweet Apple Acres when the entire family was invited. Applejack and Limestone actually celebrated their honeymoon in the Crystal Empire for 2 weeks. And just only about 2 years later, they actually wanted to start a family. So they asked Twilight for help since she had a spell that could help them. And Limestone decided she wanted to be a mother. So Twilight helped her, and surprisingly enough, they found out she was going to have a son. Both Applejack and Limestone were so excited finally to have their own family, and especially together. And then the day came the son was born. They named the son Lime Apple. Lime Apple was mostly like his mother Applejack, brave, honesty, and even strong. And he even had inherited his birth mother, Limestone, his stubbornness, but he was very truthful to his family, always looking after his family and even his grandparents when they were getting older. He remained at the rock farm almost of his childhood, helping his grandparents. But otherwise, he was a very strong, as which Applejack was proud of. And that's how Limestone Pie, Applejack found a true love and got a family. The end.